From Utah.
Mr. President, I'd like to speak for just a moment about an amendment that I've offered called the Due Process Guarantee Act Amendment. This is based on a bill that Senator Feinstein and I have introduced together. And it has one purpose: to protect American citizens and lawful permanent residents on U.S. soil from being apprehended here and indefinitely detained.
The Senate's not in order.
In Federalist Number 84, Alexander Hamilton appropriately referred to arbitrary, unlawful imprisonment as one of the favorite and most formidable instruments of tyrants. If our country is to make sure that it avoids this mistake, our country needs to undo a decision that was made in Section 1021 of the Defense Authorization Act, passed by this body for fiscal year 2012, which is still in effect today. This amendment does one thing, and it's very simple. It simply says that if you are a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, you may not be indefinitely detained on U.S. soil without trial, without charge.
The Senate is not in order.
Without access to a jury or to counsel. These are not radical concepts. These are simply fundamental American concepts. These are concepts required by the Constitution itself. And so it is not too much to ask to suggest that we should have a vote on this year's Defense Authorization Act, given that it was a Defense Authorization Act passed 7 years ago that put this in place to begin with. In the following Congress, this amendment, a virtually identical version, passed by a supermajority vote of 67 votes. For reasons I've never been able to understand, it was stripped out in the conference committee later. Today, we have the opportunity.
The Senate will come to order.
Today, we have the opportunity to undo the wrong that was placed into law then. We must prohibit indefinite detention of American citizens apprehended on U.S. soil. That's what this amendment does. We should be voting on it. We should not be blocked from getting a vote. I therefore implore you, with all the energy I'm capable of conveying, to vote no on this motion to table.
Is there objection? Without objection.
Mr. President, this bill does not apply to people apprehended outside the United States. It does not apply to you at all if you are not a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident on U.S. soil at the time of your apprehension. This should not be controversial. This, in fact, is made non-controversial by the Constitution itself. I urge you to vote no on this motion to table.